Alright, hello Speedgaming, and welcome to this Super Metroid Randomizer race between Derxu and farfelu as part of the Super Metroid Randomizer online tournament. This should be a really exciting one. Derxu and farfelu are both names that have been around for a hot minute. Derxu's been around for quite a long time. Has pretty solid vanilla times. farfelu as well at this point has been around for I think 4 or 5 years. Originally got his start with the SMZ3 scene before coming over to Super Metroid Rando, and also setting some extremely impressive PBs in RBO. So farfelu is very well versed in a lot of different loadouts. So it should be really exciting race. Our runners should be underway shortly. So for those who may not be familiar, may not have watched this tournament up to now, this is area boss rando. So if you are coming from a map rando perspective, it's not as thoroughly randomized as that. Rather, the map is taken into chunks, and the connections between those chunks of the map are mixed up. So, for example, Red Bryn Star has a bunch of connections to it that could go to Turian or Criteria or whatever. This is major minor, so all of the named items and E-tanks have been swapped among themselves, and all of the missiles, super missiles, and power bombs have been swapped among themselves. We also have a Dash exclusive item of Double Jump, which, as the name implies, is essentially one space jump. It's not the most useful item in saving time, but it can be your first item to traverse some particularly high places. We start off with morph balls, 2 different colors. Derxu gets a pink morph ball, very auspicious. farfelu gets a yellow morph ball, so we'll have to sit and see how that plays into our runners' game plans. Alright. Morph E-Tank is just straight up the most common start. You're not complaining. We'll see if farfelu finds a... Alright, so no power bomb packs. Neither of our runners will be checking the bottom of Criteria portal. That also means both runners will be hoping to find a power bomb pack, or not a power bomb pack, but either bombs, screw, speed at BT in order to get those left side Criteria portals. Otherwise, they will both be going to the Criteria crab portal. Oh, true, they don't have supers for the crab portal either. So they have to find something at BT. Yeah, 2 missile start is pretty annoying. But I guess at the very least you know that you're getting something here. Alright, and it is a bomb start. Now, here's where you can get into the question of Bomb Gauntlet. I do think Bomb Gauntlet is a trap every time, but in an instance where you have neither supers nor power bombs, I think it is somewhat more defensible in that you're extremely likely to find some type of ammo type you're missing. For those who are coming from Map Rando who might be used to trying to follow a seed's progression or whatever, that is not how Dash works. Items are placed randomly, and then the solver determines whether it is a seed that can actually be solved, and if so, we'll generate it. So there is no intended progression path, which can sort of change your mentality of, oh, I found bombs, so I should take that somewhere where bombs help me. And it looks like Derxu is going for Gauntlet. Farfelu is going for a safer 230 missile, which does have the Seed's third missile pack, unfortunately. So we'll see what Farfelu wants to do from here. Oh, shoosh. So as you can see from Derxu's screen, the Essa does quite a bit of damage. Yeah, Bomb Gauntlet isn't super dangerous, but, you know, with one E-Tank, it's kind of like a few small mistakes or a couple big mistakes territory. I'm still not that worried about Derxu. Meanwhile, Farfelu decided to skip Gauntlet, which contains Ice Beam, that will pair nicely with the Charge Beam that Farfelu just found. That is right side of East Meridia. So this is a bit scary. You really want to be able to take some damage here, because, yeah, for that exact reason. I believe that is just a reset back to the ship. Well, obviously it's to the ship, but I believe that's the beginning of the game. Yeah. So, unfortunately, you never need to save until you do. That's just an enormous lead that Farfelu now has. Meanwhile, Farfelu is really hoping he can get some new ammo types here in Green Bryn. Otherwise, there is a chance of soft locking. I don't believe in this case it's possible. I don't think... Or I'm actually not sure with the Dash Rando if there's an E-Tank requirement for Gauntlet to be in logic with just bombs. But we do find power bombs. Now Farfelu will have 4 checks at early supers in order to find the eponymous supers. There, as mentioned earlier, is double jump. It loses pretty much all of its luster when you already have bombs. Although there's a chance it still pays for itself. You're not gonna not grab it at this point, but it's not exactly exciting to see. So someone in chat saying, I've rarely seen a race that was decided by the time loss of visiting a save station. have seen a lot of races that were decided by the time loss of a setback from it. I think a big thing you have to remember is it's not just a binary, oh, here's this one save that could have saved time. Right, instead, you have a slew of decisions throughout the seed that can all amount to more aggressive or more conservative play styles. As well as the fact that, you know, Derxu knew that, and there are farfelu supers, Derxu knew that if he takes a save there and he dies, he has still lost a pretty enormous chunk of time. And so that's also something that can weigh on our runners' minds. Is the, like, what does this save actually get me? In this specific case, I think the save is pretty justified at the ship. It's a quite small time commitment, but honestly, anytime someone skips a save, I understand it. Okay, looks like Gauntlet logic is bombs plus 2 tanks, so Greenbrand could not have soft-locked farfelu. Which does mean, strictly speaking, now the Gauntlet is in logic for farfelu. Made much nicer if he ever decides to do it by screw attack. I would be pretty surprised if he ended up back there, especially knowing left side. Like, a lot of the time if you see a late Gauntlet, it's because left side of Criteria is either a desirable place to go, or because either because that is the path forward, or because our runners have not seen those portals yet. So, a decent chance farfelu never picks up Ice Beam. Alright, and that is Red Tower. Farfelu is going to be skipping right on past X-Ray. That's kind of interesting. Especially with 2 tanks, I'm definitely an advocate for always checking X-Ray. But if there's nothing there, you do save a lot of time. Now it'll be more interesting to see if Derxu ever comes back for that Ice Beam. Actually having the knowledge of it, but it being in a quite remote spot. At least given what we know about the map right now. That's a Croc. I read Bryn bottom right. And farfelu wants to do this. No danger of it taking a long time. He does have that charge beam. So he's not going to run out of ammo. He's standing a little close to Croc. Can get you in some bad, awkward situations. Oh, okay, good. Farfelu doesn't remember that he has charge beam. Also won't lose any health getting to the side and to the right with his double jump. Or maybe loses a bit. Nope. And he's rewarded handsomely with speed. Now, something you can do at Croc, in Rando, is the door will still be flashing blue, so farfelu does not have to wait around for the Croc death cutscene. And if he so chooses, he can just leave the other item behind. He will not. Farfelu definitely could be thinking he knows he has a movement advantage and general rando experience advantage, I would say. So he really wants to push that and be a bit more thorough with his checks. Yeah, it does give you a little nice minor item check as well, which of course is missiles. And with already having charge wave, farfelu will not be too interested. Meanwhile, Derxu's kind of just covering the same ground that farfelu was, just a few minutes behind because of that unfortunate gauntlet death. Oh, Derxu skipped Wavegate. So he doesn't have that double jump, right? It's so easy to forget that Wavegate can in fact be opened with Wave. He's missing out on his supers at the bottom of Edacoon's. I believe there's still a second pack here, though. Yeah, because there's nowhere else where Farfy could have gotten his second pack. Yeah, so it's not a huge deal, especially with charge. Generally speaking, it is nice to have 30 supers, or at least close to it. In the event that you run to Ridley, you can do something like... I mean, farfelu on his 3 E-Tanks and 1 reserve, strictly speaking, if he had 30 supers, could defeat Ridley, but that's a terrible fight to price yourself into. But if you have 4 or 5 tanks plus 1 reserve, that becomes much more doable. And if you have a Ridley that's in a remote location you don't really want to leave behind, that can be quite beneficial to know some of those lower loadout or lower energy Variolus Ridley kills. Obviously not a possibility yet with only 10 supers. So there's a little bit less than a 50% chance that this boss ends up being something that farfelu can kill. Right now, he can only reasonably kill Kraid and Fantoon. Strictly speaking, he could get a spike suit. If it's Dragon there, he could get a spike suit, kill Dragon, and then Shine Spark out of the room. That would be extremely slow with this loadout. So, unless it's somewhere really remote, I wouldn't expect anyone to do that. And even then, it would be questionable, I think. But it is a vanilla Kraid, so that's really good for farfelu, as Derxu is checking these top portals in Red Tower. Finds Turian in one. I wonder if this is a play that is intended to create a little bit of divergence, already knowing that you're behind. It's not going to work out for Derxu, though, most likely, as Kraid does have Varia suit, which finding Varia early saves you just boatloads of time, potentially. It's not going to be a huge deal, though, because neither of the 2 portals at the top of Red Bryn are desirable. We'll see how long it is until farfelu knows that. If Tube is something that's worth pursuing, I fully expect farfelu to leave the top of Wreckship behind. A lot of people sort of like to bisect Red Tower into 2 different locations, the top of Red Tower and everything else. Okay, Farfy. So farfelu's already leaving E-Tanks behind. That's... I mean, he has Varia suit, but that's pretty bold. Says, I have my 1 extra tank, what more could you need? And with Screw Attack, it's much more understandable. Oh, and how beautiful is that? Get your Varia suit, go explore Upper Norfair immediately. Alright. Cool, Derxu is through X-Ray D-Boost. And is only rewarded with a reserve tank for his troubles. That's not even going to help him getting out. You can still get out the faster way. You need at least 2 tanks to do it. There definitely are ways to mess up the exit that can be really punishing. And yeah, it looks like Derxu is going to just take the slower path. Could be safety. He could just not know how to do the 2 tank exit, which is totally understandable. This is a pretty significant time loss, but it's a much shorter time loss than dying. I missed what was at Norfair Reserve. Was it just a reserve tank? Oh, grapple, that's right, I saw it. So, that grapple beam does mean that Farfelu can now do any boss. So, it's actually a pretty huge pickup. He's really allergic to collecting those extra E-tanks. I mean, everyone you skip saves you about 6.7 seconds. But it's definitely more aggressive. Just another reserve tank as well. And Derxu checked the tube first. This means he's going to be leaving behind that upper Norfair, at least for a couple minutes yet. Hopefully Derxu knows how to do the gravity jump through the tube portal. I would imagine he does. And that is the back of Rex ship. Not really the entrance you want to see here. There might be ways to do it with double jump. But that's gross and icky and runs you the risk of soft locking unless you know Beast Ocean. So we'll see. I assume... Yeah, I assume Farfelu wants to go check Ridley Portal next. And that is a crab hole with a bad door connection, so there's no use following that. Thankfully, with double jump, that was some sick menuing there. That was an incredible room from Farfelu. But yeah, thankfully, with double jump, Farfelu can very easily get over that little croc escape. And go check the items over in Business Center. Could have gone back up and taken Croc Speedway. I'm not fully sure which way is faster. He's even skipping a 4th power bomb pack, which is kind of interesting. I like having at least 4 power bomb packs for the event that I need to Suitless Crystal Flash. But Farfelu's just smarter than me and knows that gravity's right there. So yeah, that's just straight up go mode for Farfelu. Unfortunately for Derxu, this really isn't the seat to take an early death. Because I just don't see any way that you come back. So, yeah, this top of Upper Norfair is almost guaranteed to have a portal that Farfelu wants to follow. This is the rare time where, yeah, I think it's better to actually check the other portal in Business Center first. Because, like, that one really pays out here. Because, like, yeah, you're probably following whatever that other criteria portal is. And this criteria portal is guaranteed to be something Farfelu will follow. It is likely to be... So it can only either be Wreck Ship, LN, or West Meridia. And if it's West Meridia, Farfelu's following it to the other unknown West Meridia portal to get to Wreck Ship or LN. But it is front of ship. Now comes the question of how do you route from here? I think you probably finish out Wreck Ship, do front to front Wreck Ship here. Unfortunate crate stand up there for Derxu. So I think you do front to front Wreck Ship here. Head across criteria, do back to front East Meridia. Or are you trying to get to West Meridia first? Oh yeah, so what you do... Yeah, LN loops on the west side of West Meridia. So what you do is you do front to front Wreck Ship, run across criteria. Mushroom Kingdom leads to middle of Greenbryn. Bottom of Greenbryn leads to West Meridia. You look for the portal that lets you do back-to-back LN. And then from there, you take bottom right West Meridia portal, goes to Chronic Boost Room. You take that to Croc portal, which leads to Redbryn Tube, and then Turian's at the top of Redbryn. So it's actually a pretty cozy route from here. And while I was figuring all that out, Farfelu just went and killed another boss. I believe that was Dragon. So, very nicely done. Well, Derxu's going back to Greenbryn. I wonder if he's thinking about the wave gate he left behind. Or he could just not know about the gravity jump to get up to. Yeah, because he was like trying to get the spark for it. So yeah, absolutely an important trick to learn. Okay, so farfelu, I think, doesn't necessarily have all the map knowledge we do. I think he might not know top of Red Bryn either. So to him, this does look like the better path. Also, it's extremely hard to perfectly route everything while you're playing. In the time it took me to route this seed, farfelu went and killed a whole boss. So if you're imagining trying to do all of that while you're playing, it can be difficult. So it totally makes sense here to go for the top 2 Red Bryn portals. Oh yeah, this is nice routing in Derxu as well, that waterway check. Unfortunately won't net anything, and Derxu would be much better off just going straight to Upper Norfair. But I think he also knows that if he does that, then he's just behind farfelu. It's a really unenviable position to be in, especially with this seed, to be multiple minutes behind because of an early death. And so you have to take riskier plays in order to offset that fact, which they are riskier generally because they have a lower expected value. So you are just putting yourself further and further behind. At the very least, though, farfelu will discover East Meridia here. And now he's going to want to do front-to-back East Meridia so that he can end up right by Green Bryn, which leads to West Meridia, which leads to Lower Norfair. So the route isn't that much worse. Oh yeah, here's where Derxu routes back in that Ice Beam. It still probably doesn't pay for itself, quite frankly. Even though it does save a good bit of time in Turian. One missile or one super off from a one-round Botswoon, unfortunately. One-rounding Botswoon with just ammo can be really tough depending on the pattern that he gives you. Yeah, it's true. Derxu could be thinking about Grafless Meridia. He has not seen Grapple yet, and neither of our runners have seen High Jump. No Spring Ball, and we do have Double Jump, which can be used for... I believe Double Jump is sufficient for Halfy Climb Room. If you're double spring ball jumping up in order to break the water, I think you only need the one space jump. That still sucks. Thankfully, though, none of that will come into play as Derxu is seconds away from finding his gravity. Although that's also a location that if you're Derxu, you really don't want gravity to be, because Farfy has definitely checked it. Farfelu's getting pretty lucky with all of these super checks, or with all these ammo checks, getting a pretty decent amount of supers. Ooh, and we get to see an X Factor Ridley. Without the hijack. Oh, he's going for 2x. Yeah, I was gonna say, a surprising number of those particles did hit. Normally for that scenario, you have high jump boots. Which helps tremendously. Okay, so I think Farfelu's still gonna need to supplement with 6 missiles here? Ridley might just be dead, yeah. Being a little obnoxious about the grab. Ridley sucks. Knowing that ice is off the table, plasma is just the best item you could find there. Now you don't check any more minor items. To answer a question in chat, no, screw attack does not let you double jump. Dash specifically has a special item that is not in the vanilla game called double jump that our runners found early on. If you look at the HUD below East Meridia, there's like a little pink spiral thing that is to indicate that our runners have double jump. Ignore the icon that's above it. It means nothing and will never be used in these settings. Yeah, Farfelu is realizing he needs to do front to back East Meridia. He doesn't have to, but it makes his routing a lot nicer. Because otherwise you're doing front to front, going to middle of Red Bryn, and getting Green Bryn Elevator. Which, going from Green Bryn Elevator to the bottom of Green Bryn is extremely time consuming. It's really annoying. But yeah, from here on out, if you're Farfelu, you don't really check anything. Maybe you check boss items. Because ice and high jump boots can still save you time. But nothing else will. Even space jump can be nice to have. It's not going to save you any time here. Or it's not going to save you the time of checking a boss item plus the fanfare. And Derxu, already having his gravity suit, is actually going to be doing Rift Ship from the back here. Hopefully, it shouldn't be too bad of a Dragon fight having Spark available to you. Although, sparking with no high jump really is annoying. So we'll see how he decides to take care of it. Right, and if this is front of LN, then I believe Farfelu has all the other map knowledge, so I believe he will just go to the other portal for back of LN. But it is back of LN, so that's nice. And absolutely in this scenario, you do back-to-back LN, it's just significantly faster. Like, even though the front of LN spits you out at the bottom of West Meridia, which brings you closer to the portal you want to take, it's just still a lot slower. Yeah, this last boss is going to be Fantoon for Farfelu. Should be making quick work of him. I'm trying to remember if you get 4 missiles in each opener, if Charge Wave Plasma is enough. I know with Full Beam you need 3 missiles, so I don't think it's quite enough to 2-round with just Charge Wave Plasma and 4 missiles. Yeah, that would only be 1900. Unless I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would be 1900 and Fantoon is 2500. So, still good enough for one phase of it. Unfortunately, Farfelu started his Doppler a bit early. Can't quite get the 2-round in. And that's pretty nice, clearing out the flames and getting the charge shot in at the same time. Plasma's a beautiful thing. Yeah, one of the nice things about Dash is you can look in the top right corner to see how much damage a charge shot from your beam combo does. Which is very useful if you know how much health the bosses have. It's less useful if you don't know how much health bosses not named Ridley and Mother Brain have. So you have to do the work back from okay, how many missiles do I shoot in PRKD? So that's 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 is 19 plus 6 more is 25. So okay, 2500. But these are good things to know. There's just a lot to know about this game. Complicated game. Oh, and there's a high jump boots that Farfelu will never be getting. Yeah, so now from here, Farfelu takes Croc Portal to Tube, and Turian is at the top of Red Tower. Alright, Derxu, without having Plasma, is going to have a little bit more trouble with this Phantoon. Hopefully, shouldn't be too much more, though. So, probably will not have all bosses down by the time Farfelu finishes the game. But especially given the early death, still a very solid outing from him. Yeah, Farfelu's a pro with these Metroid rooms. So the thing about them is if a power bomb hits a Rinka, then for whatever reason, it does the power bomb damage to every Metroid in the room. So that allows you to get through these rooms much faster. Yeah, so without high jump boots, Farfelu just goes for baby skip skip. Strictly speaking, there are low speed solutions to baby skip, but they suck. And especially if you're already low health. Really just better to do baby skip skip. Now Farfelu does have to speed zap skip. This is a fairly tight short charge, but the thing that's really annoying about it, that Farfelu isn't even pressed by, because he's just a pro like that, is that door transition is extremely laggy, so it's really annoying carrying a short charge through it. Also really annoying, these Rinkas respawn instantly without ice. So just one of the other ways that ice is just good for all of Turian. And Derxu's probably going to be fighting Ridley around the same time Farfelu finishes. Might be able to kill Ridley first, we'll see. Actually, it's going to be a really long Ridley fight because Derxu doesn't have plasma. And also has very little in the way of ammunition. And yeah, for chat asking, is there another game after this? Yes. So the way that this tournament works, we're currently in the group stages, and you play everyone in your group twice. So it's not a best of 3, it is a guaranteed 2 games. And you don't have to play them in sequence. I think everyone I've seen on the schedule so far has played both games back to back. It's just kind of easier that way. But yeah, so it is possible for our runners to split the games. So if Derxu wins the next one, then the 2 runners won't have a game 3. It'll just be on their record that they're both 1-1. And Farfelu will enjoy the benefits of the much easier Mother Brain fight without Mother Brain 3 without high jump boots. Just hold angle up and shoot at the right time. So Derxu's probably going to be entering the fight at around the time Farfelu finishes. A little bit before it. No high jump makes these escape rooms pretty annoying. And with that, Farfelu finishes with an official race time of 54 minutes and 2 seconds. GG. So there's still a pretty long fight ahead of Derxu here. With no ammunition, this would be a 100 charge shot fight. So it's not that bad, but it is still pretty rough. I'm a little surprised he didn't use his power bombs. Might just not have a good feel for those strats, though. Wonder if Derxu has been counting or if he's just playing this by feel. Yeah, that's dead Ridley. So in chat, can anyone sign up for these races, or is there some restriction on how good you have to be? So anyone can sign up for them. This tournament, the sign-up window is already closed as the tournament's underway. But I've never really seen any tournaments give restrictions like that, aside from something like Map Rando has had an end of season invitational before, where the top however many people on race time are invited to it, but just about every tournament is open entry, yeah. These settings can be a little bit scary because there's some stuff that you are expected to do that's not. Super Metroid is just frankly a hard game, and some of the tricks can be pretty difficult. But we have a really welcoming community here. A lot of people who are really excited to help people learn the game. And yeah, as someone points out in chat, I'm kind of the opinion that playing tournaments is the best way to both get involved with the community and also to improve way more quickly at the game. But yeah, the other big thing is just talking to people about Rando, asking people about their decision-making process. All of that stuff can really help you improve more quickly. If you join the Dash Discord, then right now, because of the tournament, there are a lot of races going on pretty consistently, I would say at least a couple a day. Just pick up races. There's a role for it in the Dash Discord. So you can absolutely join any of those races, and that can be really instructive. People will either be streaming, or you can generally ask people to upload their VODs. So absolutely, the community is super welcoming. We always want to get new people in. Definitely in recent times, this more standard, classic even form of rando has fallen a bit out of favor as map rando has gained popularity, but I think the signups for this tournament show there's still a lot of people who want to play. I guess this is like Gen X rando now, millennial rando, I don't know. Boomer rando would be like vanilla map. And Zoomer rando's map rando. So I guess we're in Gen X rando. Proper rando. Nap rando, true. The map rando scene is actually really cool, and if you want more Super Metroid Randomizer content, that's absolutely the place to be, where people are playing map rando than any other kind of rando. But I think there's a lot of really neat stuff about area boss rando, and I think this tournament's definitely showing that. This is going to be a really long Mother Brain fight for Derxu. 100 shots minus, so I can just pull up my handy calculator. 18,000 minus 1,200 divided by 180. So assuming he hits all his missiles, that's going to be a cool 93 shot Mother Brain. Or 94 shot, actually. Yeah, it's a 100 shot without the supers. With 4 supers, it's 94 shots. Farfelu showing off the most miserable way to mess up Lava Spark. But yeah, each super saves you a little bit less than 2 charge shots here. Because Mother Brain is not weak to supers. How do you know that a tournament is happening to be able to sign up for it? Join the Discords. If you are in the Super Metroid Discord, the main Super Metroid speedrunning Discord, there will be announcements for every tournament posted in the announcements section. There's like a million other Discords to join, but you should be able to see every event happening if you're in the main SM Discord. And if you are looking for more tournaments to join, it's not really one I would recommend as their first tournament, but signups are open right now for the Hard Way to Hell tournament, which is a tournament that uses the Varia Randomizer on the hard way to hell settings, which remove a lot of items from the game, such as fun. But it can be a neat tournament. Or it's definitely a neat tournament, and sometimes the seeds don't even make you cry. But they're just extremely difficult seeds with a lot of quality of life items, like plasma removed. And so that is going through the remainder of the Sinosauр, been through the remainder of August for that one. But yeah, Derxu should be just a little bit off from finishing. Looks like he was chatting in the race room with farfelu during the cutscene. Alright, that's Mother Brain 3 down. Just an escape left for Derxu. And then once Derxu finishes, we will take a short break. And then, yeah, our runners have not started the next race yet. For those who are not aware, this tournament is played with a 5-minute delay, so everything you're seeing on screen happened 5 minutes ago, plus the inherent Speedgaming restream delay of another minute and a half. So once Derxu finishes, we'll take a little break real quick so you can go stretch, hydrate, use the bathroom, get a snack, whatever you need to do, and then come right back here for game 2. So chat asking why is Derxu finishing when the race is done. It's absolutely his right to do so. I'm not sure if Derxu is someone who looks at the race room while he's racing. But no, whether Derxu finishes out or had forfeited right when farfelu finishes, it doesn't make a difference. Oh, farfelu's going for the crazier method for this speed-only item drop. And that is Derxu has finished in second place with an official race time of 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 44 seconds. GG. So yeah, now we're gonna take a little bit of a break. You know, go get some water, go do whatever you need to do, and come right back here. It's probably gonna be somewhere in the realm of 7 to 10. So we will see you then.